Hello and welcome back to another Tesla Open Mic podcast episode. If you're new to this podcast, Tesla Open Mic is a show that discusses exploratory testing, manual testing, testing career path, or to show you how to start one from scratch, even if you are not from the IT industry. Everything that will help you grow as a Tesla tester, an EPAM systems company, or motivate you to become a tester with us. And this series is about team leaders' wisdom capsules. Well, after all, it's called 5 minutes of TL's practical wisdom. Wisdom on how testers can elucidate when a behavior is a bug or not. Tips and tricks, examples, practical wisdom to help you test more productively. Today's wiser TL is Estevao from Brazil, who has a vast experience on the platform and always have examples to teach about testing. Welcome to the show one more time, Estevao. How's life over there?
Life has been treating me well this year, and I hope everyone listening to us also is having a great new year. And let's see if we can give some good tips to testers today.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Estevao. So, practical wisdom. What can you advise testers to identify whether a scenario that seems buggy is not, or vice versa, of course?
So it's not possible to say something is or isn't a bug 100% of the time because we have no access to the code. And we also have no idea how the feature was intended to be implemented.
We don't, yeah.
So we can have multiple customers implementing similar features in a completely different way. And I've seen multiple times, for example, sorting by price. Some customers always use the full price. For example, let's say you sort a category page by price, and some products have a discounted price, but the sort method always use the full price to sort the
The
products.
full price,
And
yes.
this is not a bug. This is most of the times intended by the customer. So it's important to take that into consideration. So different implementations between sites and products might not be a bug, but different behaviors within the same site could be a bug. Uh,
Oh, that's a good tip, yeah.
yes. So let's say the sorting method again as an example. If it works the full price in one category and in another category it takes the discount price, this inconsistent behavior could potentially be a bug. But the key word is potentially because if the behavior makes sense, it could actually not be a bug. So it's important to clearly show in the report the inconsistent behaviors so TLs and even the customers can better understand what the tester is reporting, because I've seen legitimate bugs being rejected because the reporting or attachment doesn't provide enough evidence of the different behaviors. So
To the customer.
yes, the customer rejects a bug and in the next test they accept it just because it was written in a different way.
Yeah.
So it's important to highlight always the uh, different implementation or different behaviors that happen. So talking specifically about functional bugs now.
Please.
Functional bugs require a broken functionality. So there needs to be something that you can verify that is implemented and it's broken. So one very easy example of what is not a bug is missing validation, and it's a very common bug to see
Oh,
reported.
yeah.
Absence of validation is not a bug. Absence of validation means there is no functionality to check the data. So if the field accepts everything you enter, like a name, you enter special characters, you enter an emoji, and it accepts everything, it means there is nothing there to check if the data is valid or not. So in that case, it is not a bug. Another common example I see is on addresses. A tester selects, for example, New York State and enters a California zip address and say, "Oh, there is a bug here because it accepts a zip code that does not belong to that state." But
Gotcha.
you need to check like does the site has something implemented to reject invalid input. So if you enter, like in my example, a New York state and a California zip, it does not show any error message. But if you enter a Californian address and a New York zip code, then it does show an error message. Then you have enough evidence to claim that the validation is incomplete because it rejects some invalid data, but it also accepts invalid data.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So this is what I talked about earlier about providing evidence that the site should behave the way you are describing, and in some cases it doesn't. Just one quick more example that I see a lot is
Oh, wonderful.
a
Please.
tester adds product to the cart as uh, a logged in user, then logs out, and the products are still there. I usually see this
Oh,
report
yeah.
a lot. Or a similar case
Classic.
where they add the product in one browser, then go to a different browser, log in the browser, and say, "Oh, there is a bug. The products on my cart are not there." There are several ways that a customer can implement saving the cart. So it could be in the account itself, it could be in the browser. So it would only be a bug in this case. For example, you saved you added product in the Chrome browser. You then go to Firefox, the cart is there, but then you open the Edge browser, the cart is not there. So it's saved between two browsers, but not on the third one. That's a good indication that it is a bug.
It is.
But if it doesn't save only in the browser, if you only saves in the browser you are using and in no other browser, then it means the cart is only being stored in the current browser. It's not a bug if you go to a different browser and uh, the products are not there.
Yeah.
Now about content bugs. Content bugs are usually easier to identify, but we have an important rule that is very important to get familiar with, which is the rule for staging environments. So
Yes.
content bugs are usually like missing images or missing translations or dummy content around the site. But a staging site is just like a copy of the live site that is used for testing, and it can and will happen that not all sections are kept updated or there is no content. So it's important to learn how to recognize a staging environment. And it's usually very easy. You can see in the URL words like staging, test, beta. So when you see those kinds of URLs, be careful when submitting content bugs.
Yes.
Lastly, a good resource is the bug assessment sheet because it provides some examples of common submitted reports with the respective evaluation if it is or not a bug and why it is or isn't a bug. So always check it.
Always. Thank you. Great, great practical wisdom there, Estevao. Thank you so much. There you have it, guys. Next time you encounter similar scenarios with sorting functionalities, staging environments, stay on the lookout for what Estevao has just said. And if you want to become even more productive, check out our playlist Work Smarter, Not Harder. Thank you for listening to the Tessa Your Open Mic podcast. If you want to become a tester, start a new career, or you are already a Tessa Your tester and want to thrive, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to know more about testing with Tessa Your, listen to the private podcast held in our Discord community server, which you can access directly from your tester account. Take care and stay tuned for more practical wisdom. Cheers.